Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of this Q&A series where I answer your questions and have some random gameplay footage in the background. This time guest starring a cup of tea. Yeah, very good. So I'll put him down there and let's get on to the questions, I guess. Right. The first lot of questions are from Superflash. The first one is, if you had to spend £1 million on just one thing, what would it be? £1 million, one item. I am gonna... does this count as cheating if I say a holiday? Does a holiday count as one thing? Because I could spend £1 million going all around the world. And that would count as one holiday. So, haha, that's my answer. Have all my hotels sorted out, go to all fancy restaurants, go to all the touristy places, and I don't know, just nice transport, and yeah, maybe not first class air travel. That might be a bit too expensive, but I don't know. I reckon you could go to a lot of places and do a lot of things for £1 million around the world. Okay. Oh, but hang on. Would you have to convert it into like the local currency? I don't know. That's where it gets a bit iffy. No, I'm still gonna stick with holiday. Okay. Superflash's next question is favourite alien, for example, characters from books, films, or TV. My favourite alien? I suppose the obvious choice from a video game would be Cryptosporidium from Destroy All Humans. He's pretty good, the Jack Nicholson type character. Well, I say type character, it's just his voice, but he's a pretty good character. So I guess that would be from a game. From TV, maybe something like Zoidberg? Does Zoidberg count as an alien? I guess he does, right? From Futurama? Yeah, I'm gonna go with Zoidberg. I think he's pretty funny. Kif's also quite funny, and he looks more like an alien as well, I suppose. But there's so many alien characters on Futurama that are good. You could say Ken and Kodos as well from The Simpsons, but I'm not a big massive fan of those. I think I'd go with Zoidberg. And from film, I don't have any for books, by the way, I'm going to skip that. But for film, I think it's going to be the classic Alien, one of my favourite films of all time. The film Alien, and that's the Xenomorph, I guess the name Xenomorph, I think it came after the film. Like, it was never known as the Xenomorph in the original Alien. It was just an alien. But that's just such a great design. And although it's sort of lost its scariness because we all know what it looks like now, it's become part of the cultural sort of sci-fi horror norm. But I'm sure when that first came out, seeing that thing was probably quite scary. It is weird looking. So yeah, those are my answers. I think pretty good. I'll go with those. The next question from Superflash is favourite game you've never played. That's an interesting question. So, favourite game that I've maybe watched others play, or watched a video of it, or just heard about it, and favourite game I've never played. I think at the moment especially, I'm watching quite a lot of videos on Planet Coaster, and it's a game that I have yet to play. I'm very excited for when it comes out in beta, only a few days time, but at the moment, that's definitely my favourite game that I have never played, and I really want to play it. So, that's going to change soon, but for now, that is my favourite game I have never played. Planet Coaster. And Superflash's last question is, are you gay for Mole Man? Well, of course I am, isn't everyone? Poor old Mole Man needs some love. Poor Mole Man. Thank you for the question, Superflash. The next one is from Larry Rude Dude. Hello Larry, it says, have you ever played any of the Total War games, and if so, would you consider making a Let's Play out of one? Oh, it's one of these questions about would I Let's Play it? No, I've never played any Total War, not my sort of games. They're like, what are they, real-time strategy games or something? Or are they turn-based? I don't know, but not my sort of game at all, really. However, that being said, I did like watching people play Total War in a very old TV show called Time Commanders, where they get a group of people. I'm sure I've mentioned about this show before. They had like a team of people who would act out an actual battle from the past, and they would use the Total War game engine to simulate it. I always remember that show because it was like one of the first shows that really included video games as the base of it. And yeah, I believe Richard Hammond used to present it. So I did like watching Total War games, but I've never played any, and I don't really plan on let's playing them, no. Okay, thanks for the question, Larry. On to the next one from Captain Ben Wells. This is a long one. I might need to sort of shorten it, but let's see. I've recently rewatched a video from your Destroy All Humans 2 series, and it sparked a question. What do you think is the best leveling system in a game? For example, in Destroy Humans 2, you gather Furotech cells, which are scattered all across the levels, and upgrade your weapons. Simple, yet it seems pretty rewarding. However, there are other games which have adopted a tree sort of leveling system, where you choose from one of 3 columns to upgrade, and you can choose to continue to add points to that particular tree, i.e. Borderlands, Batman Arkham games, etc. Any leveling system in particular that you really approve of? The Batman games I feel had a very poor leveling system, pretty impersonal, if that makes any sense. Choosing a plus 15% increase on stun duration isn't very rewarding, in my opinion. P.S. I'm selling these fine leather jackets. Okay, I just read the whole thing, it turns out. But, so, I would like a leather jacket for starters. Yes, please. But, leveling systems in-game, do I have a particular favourite? Well, I really can't think of any. Was there one in Fable 2? There must have been. I think it was to do with the spells that you used. But I can't remember if I liked it or not. I do agree that the whole sort of 15% increase in stun duration, I get what you mean by that isn't very personal. It's not a very tactile upgrade, in my opinion. Whereas, for example, like you say, okay, Destroy Humans 2, an upgrade to the disintegrator may be going from 1 burst to 3, and you really get a sense of what you've upgraded by doing that. It's right there, it's on the screen, you can see there's more bullets, it's doing more damage, that's good. But when it's a 15% increase in stun duration, that's not as easy to see, and therefore you lose that sort of sense of achievement. I agree. I think leveling systems do need to be like. I think one that I played, the most recent game I've played all the way through that had a leveling system, I think, was Call of Juarez, Gunslinger, like a Wild West game, which had exactly what you say. It had 3 trees you could go down, each for a different type of gun, I think. So you had sort of a close range tree, a sniper sort of tree, and a melee one. And I didn't really like it, to be honest, because I don't know, when you can see things that are locked and you can never get, like you've gone too far in the game to earn enough points to start a new tree, I just think it's like, well, I don't want to replay it all over again. That's one of the things I liked about Destroy Humans, is that you could upgrade everything. If you went out of your way to get all the collectibles and you found all the Furotech cells, you were rewarded in the sense that you could be absolutely, boosted in all your stats, in all your weapons, your saucer. I like that aspect of it. It was very satisfying to do that, to get 100%, and you just can't do that with other trees. So I agree. I don't think I have a particular favourite, but now you've brought up Destroy Humans, let's go with that one. Destroy Humans 2, I should add. Yeah, with what was it, Poxmart. That was good. I like that. Good question as well. Interesting. Remember, I'm throwing these questions out to you as well, if you want to answer them in the comments. So if you have a particular favourite leveling system in a game, do say. Okay, next question is from Jake. He's got 3 questions. Number 1 is, if you were trapped in any video game for a month, what would it be? And then it says afterwards, in brackets, choose wisely. How ominous. If I was trapped in any video game, could I die? I guess I could die, right? Like that's the choose wisely part. Therefore, would it make sense to go into a GTA world, maybe? Because you might get run over or shot by some crazy guy. Yeah, like, would there be a character playing the game that you're in? Because, yeah, you probably have quite a high chance of getting run over or something in a GTA world. You definitely want to avoid stuff like Bioshock, goodness, or basically, is there a nice happy game? Is there a nice happy game that I wouldn't mind living in for a month, that there'd be no chance of me dying or being tortured or being suffered or any sort of stuff? Happy game. Let me think about that. I might need a little sip of tea for this question. Aha. Well, the tea has helped because I've just thought of one. I've just thought of a really good one, actually. So, trapped in any video game for a month, I think I'd be trapped in a Pokemon game. Pokemon seems quite happy and nice and safe. You know, there are Pokemon there, but you know, they attack each other. They don't attack you. And the bad guys of a Pokemon game are like a Team Rocket type thing. They don't seem too threatening. I think you could just live in a little town for a month and not have to worry about much. You know, you get to see some Pokemon and get to go to the Pokemart, and you know, I think that'd be nice. And you know, listen to the nice music, and everyone seems very friendly in a Pokemon game, don't they? Almost too friendly, but no, I think Pokemon, and I have to go with. Let's go with. I guess it has to be one that I would know. I think so. Maybe Pokemon Gold, or maybe Pokemon. Well, that's it really. Pokemon Red. No, let's go Pokemon Gold because I could go to the casino, not the casino, but there is a part where you can go on a fruit machine. That'd be quite fun. Okay. Next question from Jake is: would you consider Let's Playing Dead Rising 2? The answer is no. I haven't played Dead Rising 1. Not those games do look fun. I'll say that. I think most people say they prefer the first one, but the whole idea of killing zombies in funny ways is a fun idea. Maybe I would live stream it if I ever find it cheap, but I don't think I'd Let's Play it. And the last one is, it says, not a question, but hope you have a lovely day. Smiley face. Well, thank you very much, Jake. You too. Alright, the next question is from the Double O Game, and it is favourite game, TV show, film, book, Christmas tree manufacturer, YouTuber, YouTube video. Answer as many as you like from the above. Okay. Well, a lot of those I've answered before, so I'm going to skip those. Things like favourite games and TV shows and films I've definitely answered, and books maybe. But let's go with... In fact, I'm going to go with favourite YouTube video. I know YouTube has definitely come up, but I have lots of favourite YouTube videos. I have, you know, YouTube videos that are funny, like the stupid ones, like Victoria the Grumble Pig or something it's called. Naxa might know. If Naxa's watching, he'll probably know what I'm on about. It's just a video of the woman with a pet pig, and I think it's really funny. It makes me laugh. But as a more serious answer, a video I actually watched today, and it made me realise how good this YouTube series is Tested, which is a sort of a gadget, geeky, gaming, model making, technology type channel, featuring Adam Savage from Mythbusters. And there's this series that they've got on their channel called One Day Builds, Adam Savage's One Day Builds. And basically, you get to see Adam build maybe a prop, or design something, make something, whatever, draw something in one day, usually one day, and you just kind of see it from start to finish. And the best thing about this, and it's so nice to see videos like this on YouTube, which so often just have, you know, shouty people, especially with video games, shouty people, loud people, annoying, you know, subscribe, like, comment, all that sort of annoying cliche stuff you get in YouTube videos now. This series, these one day build videos, they're just so nice and relaxing. Like the one I just watched, it was an hour long, and it's just really nicely edited, no annoying kind of sound effects or annoying music. Just Adam Savage in his workshop building these little metal parts for a space costume that he's doing, and none of it's edited too much. I mean, it's edited, but it's all there, and there's no sort of nasty, sort of cheap bits in there. It's so pure in a way. I love it. And for someone like me who likes models and likes arty, crafty stuff and making things, and you know, I've always had a history of liking art and things like that. So for me, it's just like the perfect YouTube video. I loved it. I was like, oh, I'll just watch a few minutes of it, and then boom, I watched the whole hour. It was just gone. Couldn't stop. And plus, you know, when you get someone like Adam Savage, who is so enthusiastic and has such a good screen presence, It just makes it kind of wraps up in a nice little bow. So that is definitely one of my, if not my favourite, YouTube video series, I suppose you'd class it as, because there's multiple versions of those. So yeah. Okay. Thanks for the question, Double O Game. Let's move on to another one from Street Cred Cookie. Hey, it's Street Cred Cookie from the JFS. This question is, why is your logo a banana? This one again. I'll try and keep this short. I have answered this before. The bad thing is I don't really have a proper answer for it. It came from, I think, originally doing a blog where I used a banana as a logo. And I don't know why I chose a banana back then. I don't like bananas. I don't mind bananas in a smoothie. But anyway, that's not the point. I don't really know why I chose a banana. But the reason why I kept it for my YouTube channel is because I figured it looked a bit like a video game sort of thing. It looked like a sprite because it was pixelated. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do video games. And it's pixelated. It looks a bit like a video game. It'll do. It'll do. And at the same time, perhaps not on purpose, but maybe subconsciously, it is a very sort of bright, and it catches your eye. I'd like to think it catches your eye. If you're scrolling down, your YouTube subscription list, it's not just a Minecraft face or I don't know. It's something that might stand out a little bit more than other things. Hopefully, it's quite good for branding. I did that with inverted commas because I call it branding, but it's all a hobby, a bit of fun, but it's good for kind of logos and like end slates and stuff like that. So it's good to use in that regard as well. Okay, thanks for the question, Cookie. Next one is from Brian. How often do you have muck luck? As in, bad luck. How often do I have bad luck? Well, I think I'm pretty good for luck, actually. I wouldn't say I'm lucky, but I wouldn't say I'm unlucky. I'd say I'm pretty middle of the road. And, well, actually, more often I'd say I'm lucky than not. But I firmly believe in a sense of karma. Maybe not proper karma, but I do believe that if you do good things will happen to you. And if you do bad things will happen to you. And you don't really have to tie that to karma because it makes sense. It just makes sense logically. If you're nice to people, chances are they're going to be nice back to you. And from that, good things will happen. You don't know what, but it's more likely. If you're nasty to people, then they're not going to like you. And then you're not going to get certain opportunities or things like that. So I would say I don't have bad luck. I don't have good luck. But for the most part, whatever I do comes back around. And I'd like to think that's the case for most people. I'd like to think that's what most people try and do in their life, is pass on some positivity, and it's like that line from the Beatles. I think I've said this before in a Q&A. Man, I'm just a broken record. But the line from it is called The End, and it's from Abbey Road, and one of the last lines of it is something like, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. And it's a good sentiment. You get what you give, basically. Okay, there we go. That sort of answered the question. Not really, but I'd like to think there's a little bit of a message in there. Why not? Alright, the next question is from Ben, once again, and he says, I think I remember you mentioning that you use Premiere to edit, I think. Yes, I do. Any reason in particular that you use Premiere instead of Final Cut Pro? I assume it's because Adobe has After Effects and all those other programs, right? I use Final Cut simply because I don't like the subscription type payment Adobe uses, whereas Final Cut Pro costs a one-time payment of $300. Same reason why I haven't purchased Lightroom for photos. Well, you're right, I do use Adobe Premiere Pro. I don't use Final Cut Pro. Isn't Final Cut Pro only for Apples? For Apple Macs? Macintoshes? Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe they've got a Windows version. But I don't use that. You're right, I do use Premiere Pro because it is part of the Adobe Creative Cloud, as they call it, where you get access to everything, pretty much. We get Photoshop, Premiere Pro, After Effects, Dreamweaver, Illustrator, tons and tons of them. That being said, I only use about 3 of them, really, a lot. But I agree with you, I don't like the payment system. I hate the subscription method that they have. I really hate it. The only reason why I signed up to it before is because it helped with my university work, and also when I was a student I could get a good price on it. They have like a student discount, and I think on top of that there was also an extra discount I got, so it made it like £12 a month or something. So I was paying about £140 ish for a year's worth of all the Adobe stuff, which I thought was pretty good for the time. Now it's going up in price because I'm not a student, which I don't like. And this is where they get you, is because they sort of trap you in their software, so you get really used to using Premiere Pro and Photoshop and things, and then you don't want to move away from it. So you're kind of stuck in using their stupid subscription method and ludicrously expensive stuff. I hate Adobe. I've had to just recently deal with Adobe because my 1 year license for all this stuff was about to end, and I'm working out something to do with a friend so we can split the cost, and it's just trying to talk to him to sort it out was such a nightmare. I had to go on like the live chat customer support, and the guy was just not getting what I wanted. And anyway, that's just me getting off on a tangent. The whole point is, I do use it for that as well as the other stuff. Yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to keep using it though, but I really do like Premiere Pro. It is very good. So is After Effects. So yeah. Okay, let's do the last 2 questions again from Ben. They are: what was your favourite map or location in Destroy All Humans 2? If I remember right, there was Bay City, London, Takashima, Tunguska, and the Moon Base. Yes, I believe it was Bay City, Albion, Takashima, Tunguska, and Solaris was the last one. And I think I said before that my favourite was definitely... I think Albion had funnier... all the people had funny dialogue. If you read their minds, all their thoughts were really funny across the whole game. Albion was quite funny, particularly for me because it was based in London, so they had lots of jokes about the Beatles and British prime ministers and politicians, and that was pretty funny. But I think in terms of aesthetics, I really liked Takashima because Albion was really kind of grey and foggy. I guess it's meant to be like British weather, but Takashima was bright and colourful and had lots of different sections. It had the city in the middle, but it also had the castle area and stuff, and the ninja training grounds, and I just liked the variety they had. So I'm going to go with Takashima. I like that. Okay, and Ben's second question: do you have any opinions on 3D? Its tendency to flare up in popularity like it did just a few years ago and then disappear completely. I was quite a skeptic of 3D, but I did see the animated version of The Christmas Carol in 3D and was blown away with with the snow falling and whatnot. Do you think it will make a return again soon? Alright, there's a few questions in that, but the first one is, do you have any opinions on 3D? I'm not a big fan of 3D, mainly because it doesn't work for me very well. I have dodgy eyesight in my left eye. I have a lazy left eye, which means if I close my right eye, it's all very blurry, and I can still see, but it's like someone smeared a lens with gunk, like a computer camera lens. So, or if someone's used Gaussian blur on Photoshop. So that's not good. If anything happens to my right eye, I'm screwed pretty much. But because of that, 3D stuff doesn't really work for me. It does a little bit, but it's very dodgy. It's very hit and miss because it kind of counts on both eyes looking, and that's how it gets the 3D effect. But you're right. It does flare up in popularity and then die back down again. It's done that. I watched a very interesting, or maybe listened to it. Something from Mark Kermode, who's a film critic over here on BBC Radio, and he was talking about how 3D was actually something back in the 20s, or way back in the early 20th century. 3D was a thing then as well, believe it or not. Not in the same way we use it now, obviously, but it was a version of 3D was used back then. And then, yep, it dies down and it comes back, and it dies down and it comes back. So I think it will return. I think there's always going to be like another film that will push the boundaries in terms of visual effects and make 3D worth it again. Like, Avatar was the most recent example I can think of where it was like, yes, you must see this in 3D. Seeing it in 2D is not good enough. The way they've made this, 3D is really the only way to experience this. And I think there'll be another sort of Avatar. Not literally, I mean, there are going to be about 6 Avatar films, I think. But there'll be another Avatar-type film which will push 3D again. But what I'm more interested in is the use of VR in cinema. Because I think that's... Logically, I think that's the next step for cinema to take. Is to incorporate VR. Now, I'm not saying it will be good or whether I want it to. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think I've ever used a VR unit. Oh wait, I know I have. I used an Oculus Rift a little while ago. But I'm not saying whether it'll be good or bad or what, but I think that makes sense, right? You start seeing films being in the film almost, and you can sort of look around. How crazy would that be? At the same time, it's sort of the opposite to what films are, which is that takes out a whole aspect of filmmaking, which is cinematography. There are people on film sets that are there to set up the shot, have the lighting the perfect way, block things in a certain way, and make sure that audiences see exactly what he wants or she wants them to see. And putting VR in that takes that out completely, because then you're in control of the camera, you're in control of what you see. So it could be a new style of filmmaking, maybe? I don't know. But that's just a whole other topic in itself, I think, about VR and cinema. As for 3D, yes, I do think it will make a return. Just as as stuff gets better and better and technology improves further and further, it will definitely come back. But I won't be too excited for that, because, like I said, I'm not a massive fan of 3D. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of questions. There were some good questions in there. I really like that. That was a good one. Thank you all very much for the questions. As I said before, if you feel like you want to answer any yourself, do so in the comments. I'll be very interested to see your guys' opinions. And another thing I'm going to say is this is going to be the penultimate episode of this series of Q&A. So the next episode is going to be the last in a while. I give it a few months break and I'll come back and do it again. But yeah, if you have any questions you want to ask, do so now, because the next episode is going to be the last I record for a good few months. You have been warned. If your question gets left behind, then so be it. Alright, yes, as per usual, links and stuff are in the description below. And go there, type out your question, and it'll reach me soon to answer. Anyway, until next time, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.